All right, let's dive right in and talk about something that trips up so many people. Electrolytes and supplements when you're fasting. Should you take them? Won't they break your fast? We're going to cut through all that noise and get some clear, expert-backed answers so you can do this safely and, actually feel good while you're doing it.
This is probably the number one question we see, right? You're putting in all this effort to fast, and the last thing you want to do is mess it up. But you also want to feel good. Well, stick with me because we are about to get you the definitive answers you've been looking for.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll uncover the hidden reason fasting can sometimes feel so tough. Then I'll introduce you to your new best friend. We'll get into how your strategy needs to change depending on how long you fast, and we'll finally settle the debate on what actually breaks a fast. We'll wrap things up with some really critical safety warnings and a super simple checklist to bring it all home.
So why do some people feel dizzy or shaky or maybe get those awful leg cramps when they fast? I want you to know, it is not a sign that you're weak, not at all. It's actually a totally predictable response from your body. Let's break down exactly what's happening.
It's really just a simple chain reaction. See, when you start fasting, your insulin levels drop. That's a good thing. But that drop sends a signal to your kidneys to let go of more water and, crucially, sodium. And that loss of minerals is the direct cause of all those nasty side effects. So remember this, feeling unwell isn't a failure, it's just your body sending you a very clear signal that it needs some minerals back.
Okay, so now that we know what the problem is, guess what? The solution is surprisingly simple, and it's something all the experts agree on. So let's meet your new best friend for fasting.
That's it. Seriously, a tiny pinch of salt. It has 0 calories, so it's not going to break your fast, and it can almost instantly take care of that lightheadedness or those jitters. Why? Because you're putting back the exact thing your body just got rid of.
Andrew Huberman really drills down on the why here. He explains that electrolytes, like sodium, are absolutely essential for our neurons to talk to each other. So that little pinch of salt isn't just stopping a muscle cramp, it's literally supporting your brain and your entire nervous system.
And it's not just Huberman. Dr. Jamna Das is saying the exact same thing. He confirms that if you're feeling dizzy, if your muscles are starting to cramp up, this ridiculously simple fix is usually all it takes to feel better.
Now, Dr. Sung adds a really important piece to this puzzle: timing. While salt is the answer, when you take it becomes more and more important the longer you fast. For those extended fasts, he's saying you should start thinking about adding it in around day 2, which is when you might really start to feel that depletion.
This brings us to a super practical question that I'm sure you're asking. Does the advice change if you're doing a 16-hour fast versus, say, a 3-day fast? The answer is absolutely. Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Here's a really simple way to think about it. For a typical intermittent fast, anything under 24 hours, you probably don't need anything at all, unless you start feeling symptoms. But the moment you cross that 24-hour mark, it's time to be proactive. Start adding that sea salt. And for multi-day fasts, the experts recommend also thinking about potassium and magnesium to keep everything in balance.
Okay, let's tackle the big one, the question that causes so much debate online. What about your multivitamin, your greens powder, all those other supplements you take? This is where everybody gets confused, but honestly, the rule is very, very simple. The rule is incredibly straightforward. If it has calories from protein or carbs, or if it has weird fillers and sweeteners, it can break your fast. It's that simple. So the safest, easiest strategy is just to move all of those supplements into your eating window. This table just makes it crystal clear. That pinch of salt? Totally fine during your fast. But your multivitamin? Yeah, it often has sugary fillers. AG1 definitely has calories. Alpha GPC? It might have fillers, so to be safe, just take it with food. And bone broth, which is fantastic for refeeding, has protein, so it will break a strict fast. All right, we need to get serious for a minute. We have to talk about 2 absolutely critical safety topics, especially for anyone even thinking about a fast that's longer than 48 hours. This stuff is completely non-negotiable. First up is something called refeeding syndrome. Now don't panic, it's rare, but it's a very serious thing you need to know about. It can happen after a prolonged fast, if you reintroduce food way too quickly. This causes these really dangerous shifts in your electrolytes. Again, this is mainly a risk for people who are undernourished or who have fasted for several days straight. So how do you completely avoid it? Simple, you refeed slowly. The strategy is to start with really gentle, mineral-rich liquids, like bone broth, maybe for a day or 2. Then you slowly bring solid foods back into the picture. This just gives your body the time it needs to adjust safely.
And the second critical point, and Dr. Jason Fung is so clear about this, is medication. Never, ever, ever stop or change essential medications without talking to your doctor. Especially for drugs that affect your blood sugar or that need to be taken with food, you absolutely must have a physician's guidance to fast safely. Period.
Phew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's boil all of this down into one simple, actionable checklist you can use every single time you decide to fast.
Here are the 5 golden rules. 1. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate with plenty of water. 2. Use that pinch of salt when you need it. 3. Move all your other supplements to your eating window. 4. After a long fast, refeed slowly and gently. And 5, the most important one, always, always talk to your doctor if you're on medication. It really is that simple.
So, with these clear, expert-backed rules, all that confusion can just melt away. You now have the knowledge to support your body, maintain your fast, and really hit your health goals with total confidence. The only question left is, how is this clarity going to change your approach to fasting?